is happening, folks? I've just finished watching season 23 episode 1 of Top Gear, and given the fact that it is quite a big subject at the moment, as is my sinking laptop, I thought I would just talk to you guys about it and give kind of my opinion. Now, obviously throughout the past few months we've had rumours and we've had leaks of photos and things like that, obviously about things like Chris Evans being sick all the time and just various other things, but it was unfair to go into it with a negative attitude just because no one wanted Jeremy Clarkson and that to leave, and these people coming and trying to replace him, which obviously they're never going to be able to do. No one can replace those three people. So I tried to go in it with a fresh attitude. I tried to ignore all the rumours and everything and just treat it like a new TV series, not a replacement cast on the same TV series. I tried to treat it as something new. Unfortunately, the producers haven't done that, at least not as far as I can see. I took a couple of notes on my phone as I was watching it, and I tried to get all the way through it, but it was painful. So yeah, I'm going to go through those notes quickly and speak to you guys about it and maybe ask a few questions at the end. It's just, I did try to go in it with the fairest of views possible, and unfortunately that still hasn't worked. So I wrote them down on my phone. I've only got a couple of points on here because in the end I gave up trying to watch it. And the first one was right at the start. The minute it hit the credits they tried to use the same song and everything again. Fair play, it's part of the theme, it's part of the... Let's put my phone on silent. Yeah, like I was saying, the intro song and the animations and everything like that is all kind of Top Gear's brand, which BBC owns. More on that later. But then it was the minute Chris Evans tried to speak, and I wrote here Chris Evans trying to impersonate Jeremy Clarkson at the start. Obviously I just wrote quick notes, but it was the trying to put on a deep voice, and then trying to put in pauses as he speaks, like this. Like, it's a terrible impression obviously, but imagine what it's like when you've got some peppy English boy trying to do it as well. It's even worse. They should have hit it with another approach. Maybe use the same song and everything like that, but don't try and impersonate the way Jeremy Clarkson does it. He's been doing it like that for years, when he gives you the sarcastic kind of intros, when he says, Richard wears a hat, James wears a hat, and I also wear a hat, when they did the Caravan special. When you get like Chris Evans trying to say, I get chased, and then Sabine gets chased, and then Leblanc gets chased, and then in a dramatic twist, Leblanc chases me. That's not funny. It's you trying to impersonate Jeremy Clarkson, and this is the first impression. If you don't count all the rumours and everything over the last, say, a year, that's the first impression you're giving to your audience, is that you're immediately trying to copy the star host that no one wanted to leave in the first place. Now obviously a lot of people might disagree with that, because Jeremy Clarkson got a lot of negative press while he was the star of Top Gear. But Top Gear is also one of the biggest programmes in the world. So at that point, when you're that big, any press is good press, because it just spreads awareness of the show. So even if people did think this and that about Jeremy Clarkson, it's still press, it's still attention. And that's what TV shows ideally for, it wants attention. The next bit I didn't quite like was the fact that Top Gear's been hit with such a massive budget from one of the biggest TV producers in the world, BBC, and it was when they introduced Matt LeBlanc, and it was like these top of the pop style lights. I mean, that's the best way I could describe it. It was the sort of lights you would see used at a school play. And then he's like, okay, thank you. And you think he's going to come up with something. And back to you, Chris. We don't want Chris. And now you've just demonstrated we don't want you. So, I mean, really? The next bit really pissed me off, and I can tell it's going to piss off a lot of people, was the catering dig. When they had all the people from Chris Evans' local Indian restaurant that he's probably never been to before sitting on the car, and he says, does anyone know why these people are in the car? And somebody shouts out, you catering? Fair enough. Maybe he was getting at the point that Chris Evans then destroys. Chris Evans goes, oh, we don't talk about catering on this show anymore, and waits for a pause, as if, not just trying to blank the comment, it was like waiting for a response for people to know that he was basically digging at Clarkson and the whole catering dig. Now, I'm not being funny, but if I was a star of a massive show and they send me to a hotel for filming the show, and then you ask about food, and the producer comes back with a cheeky comment, I'd fucking punch him as well. Like, who wouldn't? If you're worth that much money and they send you to some horrible hotel and then you find out there's no food, or whatever this topic was, and the producer comes out with a cheeky comment, I'm pretty sure the majority of people would fucking smack him. But the catering dig at Clarkson was just, I think it was uncalled for big time, because the original Top Gear cast, when they've been interviewed about things, James May's even been quoted saying that he thinks all the bad rumours and everything is actually the new Top Gear causing... I think it was like they were trying to cause a surprise for the audience. It was like they were trying to lower expectations and then, bam, hit them with this massive show. The people from the original Top Gear cast have been saying that they think it's going to be a brilliant show. They're going to come out with something that no one was expecting. They haven't said a bad word about the show, even the cast. Obviously they said a lot of things about the BBC, but then Chris Evans immediately hits that out, and honestly, it's about 5-10 minutes into the show and Chris Evans hits with that, and it's supposed to be a demonstration of 1 ton of downforce on a Vauxhall Vectra. Really? Was this them just trying to find a way to try and throw that dig in, is get people from Indian Restaurant to sit on a Vectra? And just what? None of it makes sense. The next thing was when they started to do the review of the Viper. Now, in days of old, with Top Gear, it would be power slides and drag races and the usual kind of thing, and even the occasional laser fight with jet fighters, with the Dodge Viper, funny again, Lexus LF8 and the Aston Martin, I think it was a Vanquish, and it was in a season in the 20s, it wasn't that long ago, and they've basically brought that back again, and he hasn't gone any more informative with the cars, he hasn't done any sort of, he hasn't brought anything new to the table, he's just done more power slides and blah blah blah, which there are rumours that that's actually a stuntman doing that and not Chris Evans. It was just, the reviews are trying to be exactly the same as Clarkson's ones, with all the clouds of smoke billowing over the track and bringing in jet fighters with laser tag and things like that. I didn't get the point of getting rid of the original cast. I know 2 of them elected to just leave since they got rid of since they got rid of Jeremy Clarkson. But if they're gonna try and bring back a show and a new cast and redo the studio and all this other kind of stuff, why not make it new? You can't try and copy what the cast that took a small little motoring show and made it the biggest thing in the world. You can't bring a new cast and expect them to just carry on where they left off. It's not gonna happen. It's like you try and reboot a TV series. It's never as good as the previous, or even a movie. Just, if they're going to try and make a new TV show with a new cast and everything, why didn't they make a new TV show? Obviously they could still use the name because they own it as a brand. The next thing I noticed with the review on the Viper was the bad analogies. Like, Clarkson used to come out with these random analogies and comparisons to other things, and while they were bad and some of them quite inaccurate and some of them quite brutal, they were funny. Chris Evans tried to do it when he was trying to compare the Viper to a rusty crowbar, saying it was prehistoric. Now, Clarkson would have come out with something a lot more funny than, it's like a rusty crowbar. It's not funny. It's a prehistoric power level. How's a prehistoric power level anything to do with a crowbar? Crowbars aren't prehistoric, for starters. And I've just noticed on this camera, my eyes are hella dark. Wow! I just didn't get the point of using the bad analogies. It's not going to work when you try and get someone unfunny to say something funny. Jeremy Clarkson, I don't know what he would have come up with that, because the things that Jeremy Clarkson come up with, only he can come up with. This is starting to sound a lot like a fan video for Clarkson, but believe me, it's not. It's just generally my opinion of a motoring show, since this is mainly a motoring channel. And the last thing, before I turned it off, I mean, I clicked through to see bits of the next half an hour or so, but I just gave up, was when they tried introducing the Stig. Now this one took the piss, big time. They introduced the Stig, fine. Then Chris Evans starts jumping around going, we got custody, we got custody. No, you did get custody. You already own the fucking brand. The Stig is a brand. That's why there's toys and t-shirts and replica this and blah 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 of the Stig is because he is a brand owned by Top Gear, also a brand owned by the BBC. So you never got custody, you already fucking owned it. So they're saying about, we got custody, we got custody. Well yeah, because the original cast for Top Gear, when they go and do their show, are never going to get that. That's the same reason why they never got the name. They're not going to brag about getting the name. Frankly, if Chris Evans, Matt LeBlanc and that Sabine Smith didn't have the name, no one would watch it in the first place. But this, it does all hone back to my original point I've made a few times in vlogs about how YouTube has replaced Top Gear for me in the last year and a half, because it genuinely has. Like, the camera cut off, which shows me I've been ranting, but what I was saying was, it brings back the point that YouTube really has replaced Top Gear for me, for now. When I watch people like Seen Through Glass, Shmee, Supercars of London and even Seb Delaney, and new Mr. JWW's a relatively new channel, they do all their trips to Monaco and they do their road trips on cars, and let's face it, they actually get to them cars a damn sight quicker than Top Gear ever did. When they released the McLaren 675 LT, it's not even on sale yet, and yet Shmee already got a shot of one, he's already placed an order for one. But for Top Gear, a car could be out for a year, 2 years before they get a hold of it, and that was bad enough, doing a review of a car that's already 2 years old. Now the reviews aren't even entertaining, so what do Top Gear really have, besides a name and the custody of the Stig? For now, I've got no interest in watching it again. I was going to give episode 2 a shot, and then when they made the custody joke about the Stig, it was just like, do you know what, I can see this is just trying to make a dig at Jeremy Clarkson. Now whether Chris Evans has come up with these scripts himself, or the BBC have thrown them in, either way I think it's pretty fucking spiteful what they're doing. But it's alright, because you have just bitten the head off the beast, because now it's given Jeremy, James and Richard full authority to make digs back at you, and let's face it, there are a lot more things to dig at Chris Evans than there are to dig at Jeremy Clarkson. They have literally, I think they've started a war there. Obviously it's not my place to say, but it could be quite interesting now that they've made them digs. Because I reckon in the interviews and everything, Amazon has told the old Top Gear cast not to make any digs and just make it a new show and keep it peaceful. But now Top Gear's unloaded that on TV, I reckon Amazon are just going to let them fire away. That's my speculation. I want to know what everyone else thinks of the show, and also the thoughts on my speculation down in the comments below. If you want to drop the comments down there, or even send me a comment on Facebook, because this will be shared on Facebook as well, or even just send me a message on either YouTube or Facebook. Yeah, just let me know what you think about the show, bits that pissed you off, bits that you liked, maybe a new way of looking at the show, because obviously approaching it with the attitude of expecting a brand new show wasn't the right one, even though I thought it was, and I think it would be the most common kind of attitude most viewers would have. I tried to approach it with the best attitude possible, and it hasn't really worked, so Top Gear is done. So I suppose all of us motor enthusiasts, all we can really hold out for now is hope that the Grand Tour, I'm hoping Amazon has just let them fly ahead and do whatever they want, instead of like when the BBC had control of the cast and restrained them basically from everything. So yeah, I've kind of ran out of things to say now. This has been quite a long video, because I don't even think I'm going to edit this. I think I'm just going to throw it up and keep it raw. So yeah, leave in the comments what you thought about the show, what bits annoyed you, what bits amused you, and my speculations on maybe how the Grand Tour from Amazon is going to retaliate to these digs that Chris Evans has made. Personally, I think they've basically just gone and started a war for themselves, instead of trying to go in peaceful like they should have, because let's face it, no one had high expectations in the first place, and it just shows that we should have had even lower ones. But yeah, this has been my review of Top Gear, which I think I've already said, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!